How to overcome social anxiety and shyness. Well, as you know, there are many videos on this, but the tips I will share today are actually a bit more unusual and they work really well. So stay with me to the end to not miss out on this. Scandinavian Bob here, hi. This channel is all about reducing anxiety and discovering interesting biohacks and self-improvement tricks in order to build a stronger self. So consider subscribing, click on the little bell icon and let's get going. Okay, so as you watch this video, I want you to notice the underlying theme you can find in all of these 3 tips. You see, one of the core problems of social anxiety is self-consciousness and having an inward focus. So as you listen to this video, try to really think about how the different tips deal with that. Great, here we go. How to overcome social anxiety and shyness. Tip number 1. Look at the other person. I know it can be hard in the beginning, but it is so important. When you look at what your anxiety thinks is the enemy shrinks because it's almost never as bad as you make it to be in your head. And it's always inside us that the deepest pit of hell lies. And not only that, by looking at the other person, you shift your focus away from yourself. It feels counterintuitive because our inner protector is shouting, "No, stay inside your head. Try to be as invisible as possible." Well, the inner protector is giving some bad advice here, because if we can learn to shift to a more outward focus, we are so much closer to overcoming social anxiety. Another example, if you are giving a presentation to a group, you don't look at the floor or the wall, and you do not even look at the group. You talk to one person at a time for about 10 seconds or so. The group is just a bunch of individuals. Just talk loudly so everyone can hear you, and then you randomly look at one person at a time for about 10 seconds before moving on to the next one. When you go shopping, look at the cashier when you pay for the food. And now don't stare, but look for a few seconds and then you look away. This is so powerful, and it does not take many days of practicing this before you will both look and feel more confident. Never ever constantly be looking down at the floor when you are walking somewhere, because then you always become self-conscious again. So look at people. Not because it will make you look socially savvy, which it will, but because it will help you to overcome social anxiety and shyness. If you can't see any people to look at when outside, just look at objects mindfully and notice new things about them. How to overcome social anxiety and shyness. Tip number 2. Head up, shoulders down, and take up a lot of space with your body. Okay, so why is this then? Well, people who feel confident naturally take up a lot of space with their posture. By forcing yourself to walk with your head up, you will look much more confident. But more importantly, you will start to feel more confident. You probably already knew that your mind can affect your posture. But did you know that it works the other way around just as well? That's right, your posture affects your mind. If you remember only one thing from this video, this should be it. The fastest way to become self-conscious is to slouch and look down a bit. On the other hand, to bring you out of your self-consciousness, you open up your body and take up more space, and you look up or forward. Now there is a trap here that you should be aware of. Some of you are going to try this, but then your inner protector will immediately start scanning your body for any symptoms of anxiety, just to check if it works. So what's wrong with scanning then? Well, by now you should know. Scanning will shift you back to an inward focus again. So stop scanning and stay outside yourself for once. Stay outside, stand tall, and look at people and objects. How to overcome social anxiety and shyness. Tip number 3. I'm about to say something that is so helpful for social interactions that it should almost be your mantra. Remember this line. See if you can learn something from everyone you talk to. This is a phenomenal attitude to have in so many ways. When you are talking to someone, instead of thinking about what you should say next, listen carefully and see if you can learn something new. Use questions to your help. This is so good because it totally shifts your focus away from yourself and out onto the other person. And it does not take long before it becomes almost like a game for you. Not only that, if you start practicing this, you will get so much better at asking questions and you will become genuinely more interested in people. But here comes the real kicker. When you stop focusing on yourself and stop trying to come up with something to say next instead of listening, you will actually instantly look much more sociable and the conversation will flow so much better. It's your inner protector that thinks you need to come up with something to say while the other person is talking, and again he gives some bad advice. Let that go and focus on the other person instead. Now here's the deal. Not only will this help you overcome your social anxiety and shyness, but genuinely being interested in the other person, which you are if you are playing the game of always trying to learn something, then the other person will think that you are such an interesting and charming fellow, even though he did most of the talking himself. Yes, this is true. Most people love to talk about themselves, and when they find someone who really listens and show interest in them, man, it's almost like you have a friend for life there. It is exactly like Dale Carnegie said in his famous book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. And those words are so true. And if you are socially anxious and shy, then I can highly recommend that book for you. Alright, start practicing these 3 tips and I'm sure you'll see big improvements in just a few weeks. Now that said, if you are in a hurry and you really have bad anxiety problems, then faster solutions do exist. For info on an all-natural anti-anxiety product I have tried myself and within moments noticed a 70 to 80% anxiety reduction, then click the link under this video where it says blog post, as I write more about what that is over there. This is something that works really well for anxiety in general, but for social anxiety the effects can be almost shocking. Just click the link right now and you'll see exactly what I mean. Alright, I hope you found this video informative. This is Scandinavian Bob signing out for today. And as always, I wish you all the best in your journey to become the strongest version of yourself. And remember, as Winston Churchill used to say, if you're going through hell, keep going.